Thanks for coming back to the channel. If you've seen the first video on prehistoric art, then you'll have come across what I call Gombrich's paradox. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to consider watching the first 5 minutes and then coming back to this one. The only way out of that impasse really is to engage with as many different works of art, as many different styles of art, as many different types of art, and as many different art periods as you can in order to get an idea of what constitutes art. And to have a mental map of the history of art, it's a good idea to try and commit as much of it as you can to memory. Whatever learner style you are, kinesthetic, auditory, or visual, I would recommend writing down notes in chronological order, if for no other reason than to listen actively. The process of deciding what to write engages your mind more. And also, while you're watching the videos and while you're studying the history of art in general, it's a good idea to keep in mind 3 questions that Panofsky said we should ask of any work of art. Namely, what is it? Why is it here? And why does it look like that? The first question, although sometimes aided by forensics, is usually descriptive, referring to the materials used, the dating, and the image's content, i.e. what it depicts on a surface level. The question, why is it here, usually involves looking at the relationships between individuals, institutions, and the intended public to explain why the artwork was required and how it came to be made, what patronage or commissioning process there was, or what the artist's intention for the work was when finished, for example, sale to a collector or gallery. Answering the final question, why does it look like that, involves findings from the first 2 questions, along with a consideration of the nature of the relationship between form and content and function, between its appearance and what it depicts, and what the intended purpose of the artwork is. What were the available traditional models of art, and what was the artist's relationship to that tradition? Was it the intention of the artist to create the summit of achievement within that tradition, or to radically transform or reject traditional forms? What ideas can be found in academia, society at large, or artistic milieu, which can account for the forms eventually used? To what extent do the forms relate to the expression of the content? Let's see how this works in application.